envy are very similar meanings and are often confused. In many ways, different is whether you have some claim on the object of your desire. Jealousy is defined as a very watchful or careful in guarding or keeping, and resentful, envious. Envy is defined as a feeling of discontent and ill will because of another's advantages, passion, etc. Resentful dislike of another who has something that one desires. So envy is when you desire something from somebody else that don't belong to you. Jealousy is a stronger emotion attached. It's no coincidence that jealousy comes from the word zealous, which means devotion. The first use of jealousy in the English was attached to the biblical devotion, then to a lover. If you have or have something that are trying to protect, you are jealous of it. You can be jealous of your reputation, your wayward lover, the red shoes that somebody else got on, the red bottoms, is that what they call the red bottoms? Amen. Mm-hmm. Envy, on the other hand, is more like a want or desire than a zeal. Are y'all understanding this?
Yes. Yes.
So the biblical sin, though, is envy, not jealousy. When you covet your neighbor's wife, you are resentful that your neighbor has her. And you don't, and you don't. So you're like, okay, why my neighbor got her with the red bottom shoes on and I don't? Amen. Envy derives from the Latin word I-N-V-I-D-E-R-E, which means look askance upon, as it's giving someone the evil eye. You ever seen somebody give you the evil eye?
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
His previous use include malice and spite.
Yes.
So envy isn't as benign as some might have it to be. Amen. But using jealousy instead of envy for things that are not love, interest, and so on. And I won't go in detail about that, but I want y'all have a clear understanding.
Yes.
Jealousy is a very watchful and careful and guarding and keeping. A very watchful is defined as a very watchful, stop baby. Very watchful or careful in guarding and keeping. It's a strong emotion. It's a very strong emotion. So I'm going to talk about the spirit of jealousy today. If you turn to 1 Samuel. Leave that right there. That's good. 1 Samuel chapter 16. Hallelujah. A lot of people have come to this church and left because we operate in the spirit of jealousy, and some people can't take that. Amen. I belong to the Lord. Come on, somebody.
Amen. Amen.
He just lent me to you.
Yeah.
Don't get jealous of my relationship with nobody in here. Build a relationship with me.
That's right.
I have my own unique relationship with everybody in here. 1 Samuel chapter 16, verse 14. Let's go back to verse 13 for clarity. Then Samuel took the horns of the oil and anointed him in the midst of his brothers. And the Spirit of the Lord came upon David from the day forward. So Samuel arose and went to Ramah. Verse 14, but the Spirit of the Lord departed from Saul, and a distressing spirit from the Lord troubled. And Saul's servant said to him, surely a distressing spirit from God is troubling him. Amen. That you may be seated. That distressing spirit was the spirit of jealousy. Was the spirit of jealousy. And we need to be careful that the spirit of jealousy does not take hold of us and use us and put out this fire. So I had a fire for God, but it put out the fire. Come on, somebody. Amen. And put out the fire of God in him. Amen. You don't want the wrong kind of fire to consume you. Because jealousy is a fire. Come on, somebody. Amen. And it can consume you. You ever get so jealous because you see someone you love, maybe your husband or your wife or somebody you care for, talking to somebody else that looks better than you, that's more articulate than you, that can dress better than you, and a heat comes on you. You get the people, I was burnt up, child. I was 38 hot. It's a consuming fire that comes over you. Yeah, in North Dakota, there was a law called the heat of passion. Do y'all know what that means? Let me explain to you. Since I lived in North Dakota for 4 or 5 years, and a lot of the ranchers and oil well workers would go out for months on end, and they would leave their wives at home, and of course somebody else crept in. Come on, somebody. Amen. And when they got home at an unexpected time and walked in and caught their wife or their lover in bed with somebody else, they got a rage upon them and they killed them. Amen. And there was a law that said if the husband came home and catch their wife with somebody else in a rage, in a heat of passion, in a heat of jealousy, and killed them, they wouldn't get locked up. Y'all quiet in here. It's a law. Look it up. They might have changed it since I've been there, but it was a law. So it's fire. Come on, somebody. And that fire will cause you not to see clearly, not to think clearly, and that you can kill somebody in the process. Y'all ain't saying nothing. Amen, somebody. Amen. Jealousy is a devouring spirit. It will feed your insecurities. Y'all quiet right there. It will feed you. Come on. It's like you are insecure about something. And that spirit of jealousy will constantly feed your insecurity. Come on, somebody. It is the opposite of faith, because being jealous is of what someone else has. So people stop believing in their own destiny that God had personally set for them, for every believer. So now you don't believe in your own destiny, come on, in your own purpose, come on, because you're seeing somebody else walking in there, and you forget about theirs, you forget about yours, and you concentrate on theirs, and then you get jealous. You're quiet in here. Wow. Because you're insecure. You're insecure. Jealousy causes us to envy one another. Envy can cause us to covet things that really does not belong to us, or not part of our spiritual makeup. You know, the 10 Commandments, it says don't covet your neighbor's wife or their maidservant or their manservant. It tells us not to do. In other words, you should only want and desire the things that God has blessed you with. I got a problem when I get something, somebody asks me, where you get that from? So you can go get it. Oh, I need that. That's an envy spirit. Y'all don't see that. Y'all don't see it. It's an envy spirit. Oh, where you get that? Oh, girl, let me go get that. Oh, I need you to go get that for me. Can you give me one? You got a apostle one. Can you give me? That's a spirit. Y'all quiet in here. Wow. Y'all quiet in here. And it deals with insecurity. It deals with the issues that cause jealousy. And you're not healed, and you need to be healed from that thing in order to move forward. Somebody say amen. 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 You're insecure. Amen. You're insecure. You're insecure because somebody's operating in their calling and you're not operating in yours. You're insecure. Come on, somebody. Because somebody prays different. That's why I say I don't like praying. I don't like praying out loud. I love praying my relationship with God. But I don't like praying loud because people will covet your prayer life. Come on, somebody. Amen. Your prayer stop because of their insecurity. Watch this. And then they get so jealous they begin to put you down and condemn you. Amen. Amen. Quiet. Amen. Amen. Number 3, jealousy closes us off to God's truth. If jealousy is inside of you, it closes you off from God's truth. We cannot receive from those who God has appointed over us, or we cannot receive from those who are walking in their calling. Amen, somebody. Amen. Because of the spirit of jealousy. Amen. Amen. I remember I was at a church and they said, "Oh, Prophetess Hawkins here. She got a word." I'm like, no. Because I know the spirit of God in me. And what I'm going to say, y'all ain't going to like. Mm-hmm. Yeah, come on. Come on. Hear the mic. So I spoke, thus saith the Lord. Amen. And the pastor's wife of the church, the apostle's wife of the church, called me later and said, I didn't want you to say that. I believe everything you said, but I didn't want it to come from you.
Wow.
So it closed you off from the truth of God, what God wanted to happen in your church right there. Mm-hmm. And I believe and I know for a fact they never got to the fullness of God, amen, because the spirit of jealousy will close you off from the people of God. And amen, watch this. God ain't going to do nothing. Well, how can I say this? Everything you get from God comes from somebody else.
Yeah,
so why you think you don't need nobody else? You do. Y'all
That's right.
I'm already pulling this out my head. Come on, somebody. So you think, well, I don't need nobody but God. How you think God gonna come down off his throne to a sinful world to hand you a check? To hand you some money, come on, to hand you your ordination certificate, to hand you a job. No, God is going to put it on a person's heart. And if they're obedient unto God, you want to get it from that person. Amen. So why you think you won't need nothing from nobody, you don't close yourself off from the truth from God. Come on, clap your hands right there. Clap your hands right there. I don't want it from her. I don't want it from him. I want it from somebody else. I wish it had it came from Kayee instead of coming from D'Amica. I wish it had it came from Sister Donna and coming from Apostle. You're closing yourself off from God.
Yeah. Yes, you are.
Y'all better say something in here.
Amen.
You don't want to receive, but you want to compete.
Wow.
Woo, God, help me, Holy Ghost. Yeah. You be sure that you are first receiving and standing in agreement with those who are doing to you in ministry before you draw off of somebody else. Watch this. Because everything that glitters ain't gold. Come on.
That's right.
So why you think you can get it over there? You might go over there, come on, because the grass looks greener on the other side. But baby, weeds are green too. So when you get on the other side, you won't find nothing but weeds. Come on, somebody. So you need to receive from the people that you labor with. And that's why I asked Sister Robin to teach that, because we need to know the ones we labor with. Come on, somebody. Because a lot of y'all get mad. Come on. A lot of y'all don't like it. Come on. Because it's coming from somebody else. And you better stop worrying about who it's coming from and know that they hear from God and they speaking from God. They speaking, come on, and they speaking what thus saith the Lord. Clap your hands. We acknowledge everybody else but the one we labor on.
That's right.
Come on, somebody. You listen to everybody's preaching on TV but mine. Come on. You listen to everybody's teaching on TV but mine. Matter of fact, when I get up here and teach, you listening to your own self-teach and preach, but you ain't listening to what the Spirit of the Lord is saying coming out of my belly. And you know daggone well you ain't labor no longer than me. Come on, somebody. You want to put yourself in my position and you don't have no fruit for yourself. Come on. You have not been processed. Come on, somebody. You have not went through the fire. You have not went through the storm. Come on. You have endured the rain. Come on. And you think, come on, that you can do this, baby. Hit the mic.
Wow.
It's the spirit of jealousy. I wish you sat down and shut up so I can get up, because I got something to say. Watch this. Ain't nobody prophesied nothing in here that God ain't already told me. I just ain't release it.
Wow.
Come on, because if I told you the things that God has revealed to me, it will blow your mind. Y'all ain't saying nothing. But some things ain't for me to say at all times. Come on here, somebody.
That's right.
don't say nothing. I know when to call you in the back. Me and Robin, Sister Robin, had a meeting in the bathroom. Come on. I know when to call you in the back bathroom because I can't talk to you in the back in my office because little pictures got big ears. And I can't talk to you while I'm out here because y'all eavesdropping, ear hustling. Come on, because you want to hear what I'm saying.
Right. Amen. Amen.
It's the spirit of jealousy.
Amen. Come on, Apostle.
And it's funny how you have selective ears and you pick and choose what you want to hear. Come on, somebody. While you pick and choose what you want to receive. Come on. And it's the spirit of jealousy.
Yes.
That's right.
Yes. Amen.
Come on, bless the Lord. Number 4. Jealousy hardens your heart.
Yes, it does. Yes.
Jealousy has devoured and hardened people's heart. And it caused them to leave churches. It caused leaders to fragment, their soul to be fragmented, amen, and it causes church split. Because it's rooted in, watch this, pride. And I say the Lord said that's one thing we got to deal with. It's rooted in pride and it's rooted in insecurity. See, the reason why y'all old leader couldn't get no further because she was full of pride.
Yes, she
and
was.
even in her being full of pride, she was full of insecurity.
Yes.
Come on, somebody.
Yes.
Because there was a root of jealousy that was inside of her.
Yes.
Amen.
Amen.
And she did not want that root of jealousy to be destroyed, picked out, cut down,
Yes.
pulled out.
Right.
Come on, somebody.
Right.
With all their tentacles, and in the tentacles is pride and there's insecurity.
Yes.
You ought to
Yes.
clap your
Yes.
hands. God just spoke right there. It distorts the perception of self in others. And that's why the woman that God prophesied over me, she said people, when they meet you, they love you. And after a while, they begin to hate you. Why? Because that spirit of jealousy distorts their perception concerning me. Come on, somebody.
Wow.
At first, they say they love me. I'm your mom. Hey, mom. Hey, mommy. Hey, mother. Hey. And when you get rebuked, then I'm evil.
Yes.
Well, you didn't have to say it like that.
My Lord.
Well, why you didn't rebuke Tamika? You don't know what I did with Tamika.
right.
That's
'Cause
right.
what I did with Tamika, they wasn't for everybody to hear.
That's right.
Well, why did you put her back in place? That ain't none of your business. Come on, somebody.
Amen.
See, you worried about my relationship with her, and you ought to be worrying about your relationship. Watch this with God. Y'all
That's
better
right.
say something.
Say it.
It creates spiritual blindness and not honoring those of God. It creates a spiritual blindness and will cause you not to honor people of God, value people of God, respect people of God. Y'all quiet in
That's
here.
right.
And that's why God is not honoring you, respecting you, avowing you, and that's why you cannot operate in a sphere of influence. Y'all quiet.
Wow.
Hallelujah. See, the only reason why you can operate in influence is if you watch this, if you value someone, remember that? If you honor someone, and see, in this season, this is the season of honor.
Right.
The Bible says give honor what honors due. Some of y'all will never be honored back because you don't know how to give honor what honors due.
Yes.
And my Bible said, be not deceived, God is not mocked, so if a man sow, he will what? Reap also. So when you dishonor me, I don't even say, no, I don't really care anymore, because watch this, God will kindly bring that thing back to your remembrance.
Yeah.
That thing will come up and hit you in your face. My grandmother used to say, what goes over the horse's back, come on, will come over his belly and buckles. So what that means, when it comes back to you, it's going to hit you like a ton of bricks. It's going to hit you over. It's going to throw you over, and it might bring you to your knees. Somebody bless the Lord right there. We cannot honor those we envy.
Wow. Yep.
Huh?
Wow.
So you don't want to honor me? Well, you showing me that you full of envy.
Wow.
We can't honor those that we're jealous of. You know, come fix it. With jealousy, we are still seeing the things from a worldly perspective and not from the eyes of God.
Yes. Amen. Amen. Amen.
When we are looking from this perspective, we see the haves and the have-nots. And this is how we always tend to try to keep up with the Joneses. Y'all quiet in here. And a lot of times we trying to keep up with the Joneses, and the Joneses don't really have what we think they have. Because everything they get ain't gold. So while you want what they have, you might just get it. You might go home with him, and he might beat you upside your head. Might be a beat you upside your head. Come on, somebody. They might be broke as a joke because they're in credit card debt. Come on, somebody. You don't know when they put on a good visage. Come on. Because the Lord had to bring to my remembrance. The Lord said, so why you admiring them and why you think they so great, but watch this. What do they have? Come on.
Wow.
Because really and truly, you have more than what they have. But because they put on a good show, y'all quiet in here. We always think they got more than us when they don't. Be very, very careful by saying, I wish I had that, because you might get it. Because God will give you the desires of your heart. That's His word. And while you desire to be with Mr. Jones is a crackhead. Come on. Mr. Jones is an abuser. Come on. Mr. Jones is a white beater. Mr. Jones, come on, is a pedophile. Mr. Jones, y'all ain't saying nothing as broke as a joke. Y'all ain't saying nothing in here.
Yes, ma'am.
And you want that?
No, ma'am.
No, thank you. I'm good. I'm good over here. I'm happy in my bed with Holy Ghost. Come on.
That's right.
I don't need Mr. Jones. We got a thing going on. No, we don't. Because I look from the eyes of God.
Yes, ma'am.
And I saw that when he gets home, he beats the snuff out of his wife. I saw when he gets home, he creeps in his daughters and his son's bed. Y'all quiet in here. Hallelujah. So grow up. Some of us just need to grow up in the Holy Ghost.
That's right.
Yes.
Sister Darlene, can I use you? Sister Darlene called me one day. She said, Apostle, blah, blah, blah. I said, Sister Darlene, grow up. You need to grow up in the Holy Ghost. Come on, somebody. Because sometimes we are so immature, spiritually immature in some areas in our life that we'll never get to the next that God is trying to bring us to. I wasn't trying to be hard on her. I'm trying to push her, drop kick her, suplex her to her next, come on, to her next. And we cannot go to our next when we're operating in the spirit of jealousy. Don't clap your hands right there. Number 6, we walk by faith and not by sight, being able to receive the word and knowledge of when it comes from and with the sign of spiritual maturity. We must walk by faith and not by sight. James 3:16 says, for where there is envy and strife, and there is confusion and every evil work. Where there is envy, jealousy, strife, contentment, confusion, come on, immaturity, come on, pride, deception, lies. Y'all didn't say nothing. Pride. There's every evil work. And we know a church that we fellowship with. One person in that church has all that, and don't show. It show up every time. Every time you go there, you picking on people, you make fun of stuff. Come on, it's every evil work. And you think you're going to make it into heaven? What? The spirit of jealousy will not only keep you from walking in the fullness that God wants you to walk in, and keep you from your purpose, and keep you from your destiny. It will also keep you, watch this, from making it into heaven.
Wow.
Depart from me, you worker of iniquity.
Go ahead. Amen. That's right.
You so jealous of what somebody else has, and you don't know that the same power of God that's inside of them that calls them to get what they have is inside of you, will cause you and allow you to have what they have, watch this, or greater.
That's right.
Or greater. So while you jealous of what they have, you can have the same thing, but you're lazy. Come on, you can have the same thing, but you're immature. Come on, you're not a go-getter. Come on, you don't want to be obedient to God. Come on. So what you want to do is go and beg them for what they have.
Wow.
Can I, oh, I don't have this. I can't stand a beggar. Nobody ever gave me this. Were we supposed to?
No.
No. Why? No one ever do anything for me like that. That's the spirit of jealousy. When you have the same capability to go and get it for yourself.
That's right.
I've been wanting a Volvo for years. Ever since I was a little girl. Ever since I knew what cars was. And I was determined to get one. And I worked at it and worked at it and worked at it. And now I have one. Blessed be the Lord.
That's right.
I didn't get jealous of nobody that had one. Matter of fact, watch this. I was in Savannah, Georgia, and this white lady parked right next to me and her Volvo. I said, man, I love your car. I want one so bad. She said, oh, you like it? I said, yes, I do. She said, you can come sit in it. I said, thank you. She said, you look good in it. And I said, oh, I'm going to get one. I know I do. This thing look good on me. I didn't rob her. Come on. I couldn't carjack her. Amen. Because the kids was in the ignition. Come on, somebody.
Right.
But no, I worked for that thing for myself.
That's right.
I wasn't jealous. I ain't say, look at that white woman. They white people always get more than I ain't say none of that stuff. Because a lot of racism is rooted in jealousy.
That's right.
They jealous. They don't want us to make it to the top. Amen, somebody.
Amen.
A lot of church breakup is due to jealousy.
Yes, it is. Amen.
Huh?
Wow.
Church split, jealousy.
Yeah.
Watch the spirit in there.
Yeah.
It's the root of jealousy in there. Come on,
Yeah.
somebody.
Amen.
A lot of marital breakup is due to jealousy.
Amen.
Jealousy. Come on, and let a little bit of salt is good. It makes good flavor, right?
That's right. That's right.
So it's okay to be a little bit jealous of your spouse, of your loved one, but too much salt will make your food bitter.
That's right.
Because sometimes men don't feel appreciated, amen, because you ain't showed them that you really care. Baby, you going out the house looking like that, you look awful good to be going out. Where you going at? They like to hear something like that. Come on, somebody.
Yes.
Baby, you got dressed a little bit too tight. Where you going? Oh, you can't go no place, but, well, you must be cheating on me. Who she is? No, see, that's different. There's a difference.
That's right. That's right.
Jealousy inspired Cain to kill Abel.
Yes.
Joseph's brother sold him to slavery because of jealousy. King Saul wanted to destroy David because of jealousy. The women in the street song Saul has killed 10,000, has killed 1,000. But David had killed 10,000. Here comes the spirit of jealousy. Come on, somebody. Stop comparing yourself to me. You want this? You have the level of warfare that I have. You can have it. You can, come on, because this comes with a certain level of warfare.
Yeah.
Don't be jealous. Some people are jealous of the call on my life or the way I prophesy or the way I preach, which I don't think is that great in the first place. So I don't know why they jealous. I have no idea why. But when they have to go through what I have to go through to get it, they ain't going to like it too much.
That's right.
Baby, you can have this back. Do you think I want to go through the level of warfare that Juanita Bond goes through? I want that, baby. You can have that. Come on. You got the nation. Deuces. Keep it. Because I can barely endure what I'm going through right now. And somebody's jealous of me. Somebody call me and prophesied on me, and they said there's people in your own church that's jealous of you, and what's your position? Y'all can have it. Why? There's other leaders that's so jealous, and that's why I canceled the revival. Other leaders are so jealous, amen, that they want to tear us down and make themselves look good. Amen. The spirit of jealousy. You ain't bringing that spirit in my church. We got enough that we got to deal with ourselves. Amen. It doesn't matter if Sister Robin if I slain only 1,000 and she slain 10,000? It don't matter. Only thing that matters is that we're doing the will of the Father.
That's right. That right there.
Because the one can put 1,000 to flight, two can put, come on, say
That's right.
So that's all that matters.
That's all that matters.
I see her fighting on the battlefield, or she out there fighting by herself. Let me go out there and help her. Now let me go out and compete. Let me get jealous. Let me watch her die out there on the, let me just let her die. Let me let her die. I don't care. Look at her. Out there thinks she can do it all by herself. I was in a church in Georgia, and you put my music on, and I was in the church in Georgia, and this lady, her members was coming up against her so severely, and I had to preach. And big tall guy came up, pointed his finger in my face, and was talking yada yada yada. My little itty bitty daughter Courtney got in front of him. He said, "I know." He said, "I ain't gonna hurt your mama." And my daughter said, "I know you ain't, cause you ain't gonna make it through me." I said, "Man, go sit down, cause my daughter get ready to get on you like a pit bull. Plus you crippled. If it was nice, I lay hands on you, wouldn't be crippled." Y'all quiet. But it was the spirit of jealousy that was attacking their leadership, and she brought me in, so that same spirit was attacking me. I rebuked the whole house. I rebuked the whole house, and she was laying on the floor. Her sister-in-law was in ministry, looked at her picking. She probably wanted to brought the spirit in church.
Amen.
So I got on the floor with her, because if you go down, I'm going down.
Amen. Amen.
I got on the floor with her, and I whispered in her ear. I said, "You better get up off this daggone floor now. Don't you ever let them see you sweat." While I was down on the floor with her, the Spirit of the Lord said, "Look." I turned around and looked. Her own sister-in-law, pastor in ministry, was like, "Look at her," pointing at me. She need to get up. She wanted me to get up, because she knew if that lady stayed down on that floor, she would have died right there.
Wow.
The spirit of jealousy comes to kill your destiny,
Yes, it does.
to steal your purpose and your destiny from you. Amen. The spirit, come on, look what happened to Cain and Abel. It came, y'all ain't saying nothing. You can't tell me that Saul didn't know David's destiny. Come on, somebody. And that's why he did everything he possibly could do to kill him. And then David had a chance to kill the king, but the Lord put his sword while he was at the lowest point of his life. He was having a bowel movement in the cave, and I write about it. And he took the end of the sword and cut off a little bit of his skirt. And then he took it out of the cave, and he was like, look what I could have killed you. But my father said, "Touch not my anointed one, and do my prophet no harm." No matter how jealous you get over somebody, you ought to know that you should not touch God's anointed one and do his prophet no harm. It's time to repent. Come on. Because the spirit of jealousy, come on, will cause you to kill somebody. Physically, mentally, spiritually, come on, will cause you to ain't saying nothing. No, it will cause you to take a knife or gun, come on, and put them and snap the life clean out of them.
That's right. Wow. That's right.
A humble farm boy. All he wanted to do was keep the captain, keep the sheep. He ain't know nothing about he had a great destiny before him. He didn't come. Some of us don't even know that God has something great for us, Sister Robin. Some of us don't even know, but somebody else will see that greatness in us. And that spirit of jealousy will rise up, y'all ain't saying that, and try to snuff you out.
That's true.
It's time to repent. Jesus said, "Love one another and learn from one another." The more comfortable we are with ourselves, the more we desire to give recognition and honor to the Lord and to other people. The more that you know yourself and you know your relationship with God, it will cause you to give honor and recognition to somebody else and even to the Lord.
That's right.
Never forget, God will take care of you.
Yes,
He will take care of you.
Yes, he will.
While you jealous of what somebody else had, ask the Father. You have not because you ask not.
Amen.
Ask the Father. Ask the Father. Ask the Father, He gonna give it to you. If you just ask Him. He said He'll give you the desires of your heart.
Yes, He will.
How bad do you really want it? Do you really want jealousy more? Come on here.
Right.
That's what you really want? Jealousy? Envy? Strife?
No.
Bitterness? Contention? Confusion? That's all that's it right there. Because it's a sad day when we go to another church and the leader called me and said, hey, I need to talk to you about that woman there or that man that belongs to your church. I already know. You don't need to say no more, baby. It's a sad day when they say, I don't want them back in my church. The next time you come, don't bring them. Yeah. I've been told that a couple of times. It's a sad thing when people come to my church and visit me and they call me on the way home and they say, well, you know that woman with this on or that man with that on? You know that I already know. I already know. So what am I trying to say? You ought to get rid of that spirit so nobody else can see it.
That's right.
You need to ask Father to help you with that thing. Come on, somebody.
Amen.
Help you with that that's in your heart. That you're jealous of somebody else. Come on, that thing that's in your heart. This is something else the Lord told me. The Lord told me it's up to them if they want to change.
That's true.
I'm killing myself trying to get y'all to change. I'm killing myself trying to get you to change. You ought to have a desire to change. To be a new creator in Christ. To put on a new man and get rid of the old man. Come on, somebody. And you want to get rebuked severely? I hate the spirit of pride. So I serve notice on the spirit of pride right now. It better go. Because you get ready to get embarrassed. You get ready to get real embarrassed. Because I can't stay. That spirit, come on, is a spirit that is rooted also in homosexuality and religion. Come on, and I can't stand it. That spirit has caused division in so many churches and caused people to go out and leave a church and start their own church and die right in there. Because they think they all that in a bag of chips and they haven't went through the process. So if you don't want to get embarrassed, I suggest you deal with that thing quickly. Because I'm serving warning on you right now. Because you get ready, look, as we say in Georgia, you're fixing to get embarrassed. I don't like it. I detest it. Because you ain't no better than nobody else in here. You put your pants on the same way everybody else. Am I right about it?
That's right.
Think you greater than everybody else and somebody needs you. Watch this. God can replace you just like that.
Like you said, make you work and not.
Don't know nobody needs you. Can I stay there for a minute?
Yeah.
We need God.
That's right.
Don't nobody need your preaching, your prophesying, your singing, your dancing, none of that. Because just as you think you all that,